Man finds himself weighing the choice between various kinds of pleasures, and so long as he has not decided which kind he will choose, the higher or the lower, he has no inner peace. Only when he clearly recognizes that seeking to satisfy his lower nature ultimately brings suffering, can he make up his mind to turn away from the lower pleasures and to strive for the higher. Once this decision is sealed, he finds true joy and peace, and inner conflict is overcome. These are words from the 58th hexagram of the ancient Chinese I Ching, the Book of Changes by Richard Wilhelm, translated by Cary F. with minor modifications to the wording by me. While it has been my intention to record a contemplation of each of the hexagrams of the I Ching as we move into its cycle on the Great Wheel, it has taken me a few days to contemplate the energy of this 58th hexagram, to get to a good place where I really understood it enough to speak about it. Today is the last day we'll be in the transit of this energy. It's the joyous, and I finally get it. It's not that I don't have an understanding of the state of joy and bliss. I surely do. My contemplation has driven me to seek a deeper understanding about what the original hexagram intended to express, and then to broaden that understanding to include Richard Rudd's insights expressed through the more modern and synthesized Gene Keys system. In the Gene Keys teachings, Richard articulates that the spectrum of this energy moves from dissatisfaction at the shadow frequency to vitality at the gift frequency, and then to bliss at the highest Siddhic frequency. My breakthrough came today when I listened to Richard's contemplation on this energy in his 64 Ways audios, which I highly recommend to anyone who may be hearing this. The breakthrough was received in contemplating the nature of our dissatisfaction. There is an inherent dissatisfaction in the human experience. We have desire natures that seek to be sated. This is a phenomenon that seems to be pervasive. I'm not sure that the word dissatisfaction is really completely adequate in describing the phenomenon, but it gets pretty close. What is it that drives us to seek experiences? What drives us to seek pleasure? What brings us pleasure? What does pleasure look and feel like to you? How do we explain how some sensations and events bring some people pleasure, while the same events and experiences and sensations are meaningless to others? The idea of this energy is that every human being, at a soul level, is on an evolutionary trajectory. Change and evolution, after all, are a universal constant. Through an individual and collective incarnative process, we have life experiences after life experience after life experience, and through the accumulation of all those experiences, we expand our awareness and we grow. So have you contemplated, where is all this evolution and growth leading us? My intuition, and perhaps the intuition of those of us who are part of a certain fractal of human beings in the world at this time, is that our souls are on an evolutionary journey back to our source. Our role as individuated beings is to provide perspectives, to have experiences, so that the consciousness that underlies creation can experience itself and know what it could become. So the dissatisfaction is like the fuel that drives us. Because of it, we seek experiences. When the I Ching speaks of lower experiences, my sense is that from the cosmic perspective, there's no judgment in this. Every experience has value, ultimately. But imagine lifetime after lifetime of satisfying oneself by consuming too much food, or having lots of sex, or by using substances that alter our emotional state, or perhaps even worse, by engaging in activities that exploit or cause pain to others for one's own benefit or satisfaction. After lifetimes of satisfying one's desire nature with these kind of lower frequency behaviors, it seems only natural that one would begin to wonder and to seek something higher. It seems the process is simply bound to inspire a turning inward eventually, a questioning of who one is and of what's possible. I have experienced this turning inward in this current incarnation. The first part of my life was rich with experiences, and I had the pleasure and the benefit of having all kinds of desires and dreams realized. There was also a period of pretty selfish and arrogant self-indulgence. But with each experience, realized and fulfilled, I began to be aware of a growing dissatisfaction within me. I began to receive questions like, is this all there is? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know. Is there more? Is this the life that I intended for myself in this incarnation? And why do I still feel dissatisfied? It's after a long period of contemplation of these questions that I've started to receive some really satisfying answers. You see, we do all have higher natures, higher selves, and we have all come here with specific ideas and themes for a lifetime. It's the nature of our experiential process to become conditioned and distracted by the density of this plane and by the cultural ideas and ideals and belief structures that we're born into. And it is the pleasure of a lifetime to free oneself of that conditioning and to reconnect with the truth of who you are and why you came here this time around. And part of the beauty of this system is that your emotional guidance is an inherent way-shower. As you begin to clear yourself of your mental conditioning and of your emotional baggage and past traumas, your emotional system becomes more clear. You start to move through the world more cleanly, and your frequency begins to rise. You start to notice what you're feeling with a greater level of subtlety, and you start to honor your emotions. And you understand that each emotion is here to teach you something. Every single one of them. When you truly feel an emotion like joy or a state of bliss, you're being offered a gift. You've found resonance with your higher self, with the truth of who you are and how you've come here to be. true joy and bliss are indicators that you're in alignment with your higher self and your intentions for a lifetime, right there, right then, in that moment. Conversely, dissatisfaction, or lower frequency emotions, are our indicators that something is ready to be received and revealed to you. There's an opportunity for growth and expansion gestating. It's just waiting for you to be in the right frequency to receive it. So my recommendation for you and for myself is to take note of all the past moments when we felt this bliss. Savor them sweetly and reflect on what it was that might have inspired it within you. By remembering those moments in this way, we reactivate those emotions in our physical and subtle bodies. And by using our mind and our intellectual faculties as they were intended to contemplate those sweet moments, we call more of those kinds of experiences to us. And this is really how we may acclimate to bliss. I believe, I know, it is absolutely possible for more of us to live more blissfully more of the time. When we're no longer seeking satisfaction and gratification from external sources, when our awareness turns inward, we begin to realize that joy is something that we can tune into, that wells up from within us. And then in turn, we begin to see more evidence of it in our environment around us. The opportunity for bliss is always there. I'll close this contemplation with an example of an experience through which I've received the most profound bliss. I don't have children, but I do have a sister that's 21 years younger than I am. It's her birthday today, actually. When she was around 6 years old, she asked me to take her to get some chicken tenders at Chick-fil-A. And I'm not a big fan of the restaurant, but I indulged her. After we'd eaten our dinner, she spontaneously, and in the sweetest and most gentle and genuine of tones, said, "Thank you, Jared." I will never forget that moment of being there with her. It broke me completely apart and put me back together again in a flash. And for me, every experience I've ever had of being in the field of love with another human being who is truly alive and honest and authentic has felt that way to me. For me, there is nothing more satisfying. I hope that you have felt this bliss. I hope that you will give yourself permission to seek it out, to conjure up those moments, and to commit yourself to acclimating to that frequency more and more of the time, and to residing in it, and then to sharing it. Because ultimately, it's what we're here for.